This is our 1988 Chevy Silverado. And we're going to work on the brakes. Let's get into it. Now, I've been working on the brakes on this truck for a while. Losing my voice. Had to put a battery in to get moved over here. And we've put new brake lines on it. And we've put new rubber lines to the wheels and the rear end. And we just cannot get any brake pressure from front or back. This thing just goes to the floor. It won't pump up. So I took just a turkey baster, and you have to sneak this out of the house because you don't want your wife to know you're using it. I guess if you clean it up, slip it back in there, she'll never know, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's had brake fluid in it. I wouldn't recommend doing that at all. That's just a joke. Now we got that out of there, and it sure is sexy. You never know what's in your brakes. This thing's been sitting for years, and I'm guessing about half of that's moisture. But and a lot of that's fresh fluid we put in from bleeding it too. It's just stuff stays in these reservoirs. And I'm gonna get the other one put on the bench in here. We may try to bench bleed it. Got the master cylinder there, but I want to show you guys this. I'm working on another vehicle where I'm trying to get the fan clutch off. And this is what my grandson bought at one of the parts stores. And it's supposed to lock on to the bolts on the pulley to get your fan clutch off. But it does nothing. This little gear here is stripped. I guess it's been used before, and whoever had it before stripped it. Because this is one of them Lona tools. Look at that. It won't catch. As soon as you get locked on there and start putting pressure on it, it just lets go. That's junk. That's made by Evertough, and I don't know if it comes from Advance or AutoZone, but it comes from one of them. If you ever have a chance to buy one, don't. Here's our brand new, straight from the mothership, AC Delco master cylinder. Look what it says right there. Made in China. So, GM, what's happening? Is this a clone that you guys are selling at your own parts houses? Let's get it out of here. It's packaged nicely. I figured it would come with a bench bleeder kit. It basically just comes with 2 plugs. I don't have a bench bleeder kit. Probably make something. This just says put plugs in it. Mount master cylinder in a bench vise. Do not clamp the cylinder housing. Fill the master cylinder with brake fluid. And allow it to sit. Allow the fluids to partially fill the bore. Lubricate the seals. It can take 7 to 12 minutes. Once the fluid starts dripping out of the outlets, install the plugs and tighten them until they bottom out. Using a blunt-headed bleeding tool. Anything we can pick up in the shop. Stroke 3/4 to 1 inch on the piston. Hold for 3 seconds and let the piston return. Wait 10 seconds. Allow the fluid to flow into the bore. What? You don't put return tubes on it? Apparently I've not bled a master cylinder in a while. So apparently we're just supposed to put some fluid in here. I'm going to fill it part of the way up. And just let it sit until it starts weeping out the brake line holes. Then once it starts weeping out, you put the plugs in it. Maybe we're supposed to push it a little bit. I don't know. I just read the constructions, but see, fill recommended fluid and allow it to sit. Allow it to fill the bore. The process can take 12 minutes. Once the fluid starts dripping out of the outlets, yeah, you don't do nothing. Just let it sit. I guess we just need to put on some music and relax a minute. Well, I've decided to let this sit overnight. I'm not getting anything to the back line. It come out of here, it drained out here immediately, but I've actually put a plug in it and pumped it a few times, and I'm not getting anything down there yet. It's going to let gravity work on it for a while. It's getting dark outside, so I'll finish it tomorrow. If it ain't raining or snowing, when I'll put the plug in it and let it sit overnight, then try it again in the morning. Today, we have an empty bay in the shop. That means we get to work on old Blue today. Let's get into it. About a week or so ago, we were talking about this master cylinder. I couldn't get anything out of it. I haven't been able to get back to it. We've been working on some other cars. But we got all the fluid drained out. And I noticed this brake line right here is bent horribly bad. So it's going to have to thread out a little bit to come out of this master cylinder. And it's really short. It took a lick right here, it looks like, and knocked it back. I've got to try to fiddle with this and get it straightened out before I get this master cylinder off here. That's going to be a challenge. I've already got the new one. It's been on the bench for a couple of days. It's been bleeding out, and I pushed it and can't get any more air to come out of it. Of course, we'll have to bleed it again when we put it on. Bleed it right here, and then bleed it at the wheels. Got one of the new wheel lines replaced there, the rubber line. I still haven't done the other side. I've done the rear. But first I got to try to get this, see if I can get this moved. Let's put some... Man, that's bent really bad. Let me get a wrench on this and see if I can get it out. Looks like a 9/16 fits it. I can't find my 9/16 line wrench. I'll probably end up having to find it though. It looks like somebody's used vice grips on it. Wasn't me. Maybe. There we go. Got that one loose. Oh boy, that one's going to strip. The front one's one I thought would be the hardest to get loose. It's coming right out. Where it's wallered out so bad, it's hard to get a wrench on it. Fiddle with this a minute. This front one's spinning pretty good, even though it's bent. But this one is spinning the tube, and I'm going to try to put a little bit of WD-40 on it and try to get it broken loose here. See how it's moving the whole tube? Gotta get that loose. It'll never thread off there. Oh boy, it's gonna be bad. Of course, I can make this little line. I just don't want to. I got the fittings in the line to make. I may not handle a line that small. Tube. I'm gonna keep working at this. Got those lines loose. Get on there. Well, just drop that down out of the way. Got that loose. Doesn't seem to have been leaking. Let's go match it up to our other master cylinder. Might have run into a snag. This has a bigger piston than the one I took off. Works perfectly. Fit right in there. I hope that the threads on the lines are the same. I got worried there for just a minute. Maybe this is made for 2 different sizes. One's a 4-wheel drive, maybe. One's a 3/4 ton, I don't know. But it fits, so we're gonna go with it. Now I gotta find a 5/8 deep socket. The socket I had just wasn't hardly deep enough. Doesn't look like it's gonna go all the way back. Now to thread these little fittings in. Well, what do you know, the plastic fittings are bigger. Oops. Need something to take these off with. Now I've got the lines on. Got the reservoir topped off with fluid. Looks like there's a bleeder here, which could be an issue. What is that? This thing shouldn't have had ABS brakes, but that's sure what it looks like. Well, we may see if we can get it loose and bleed it. But I'm by myself. I don't have a helper. I'm going to try to figure out how to prop the pedal down, maybe, and then bleed it. But if my prop falls off, it's going to let air draw back in. I do have a bleeding reservoir. Let me see if I can put that thing together and we'll try it. I've got a few of these little reservoirs, but they're very simple. You just put the line. There's a pickup tube down in the bottom. You want that pickup tube down below a little bit of brake fluid. That way when you push the air bubbles out, when you let off of it, it'll only suck fluid back in. So that's how you bleed it out. Just a real simple thing. I'm going to go ahead and hook this up and give it a try. See if I can mash the pedal a few times and get that to come out here. I've got it, the bleeder loosened. Did anything come out? I don't see anything. Unless it's leaking out down there. Oh yeah, it's coming out now. Give her one more shot. That's nasty. Still see a lot of air. We pumped the brakes a couple times. soft till I get about halfway down, and then it gets firm again. So what I need to do is set this up on some of the wheels and then try to push the air, because I'm only bleeding one side here. I'm only bleeding this big line. The small line goes through the proportionate valve and goes straight down. It's like I've dropped one of my caps way down in there. I'll have to fish that out. This seemed to have worked pretty good. I bled this bleeder just a few more times till I got all the air out of this line. Made sure that it was pushing just fluid out in the bottom. You can see it's stained a little bit, but the air, other than maybe a bubble, is out. So that line is completely from here all the way down into this little reservoir. This is clear. So now I got to figure out how to get this smaller line bled. Well, I couldn't get the bleeder screw loose. It was stripped out to start with. It does have a new line on it and a new bolt, so I just put pressure on it and bled it through the line, which is not ideal, but without changing the caliper, that's the best I can do. Now I gotta try to get to the other side. Well, it looks like we're going to need a couple of calipers. I can get it cracked off on the lines and get a little bit of air to come out, but I'm by myself, of course, and it's kind of hard to do. I've just been putting a stick on the pedal and holding it down. If you can't get the bleeders loose, you can't use the little reservoir, because it just bleeds out around those nuts when you try to take those nuts off. So I also think I'm out of gas. I think I'm going to quit for today. There's a kit online that has the rotors and calipers and the pads. Of course, it's got drums in the back. I think it comes with everything for maybe a couple $100. So that's something I may look into, getting that. A little bit, barely is reading any gas, any fuel, and it's missing really bad. It probably needs one of those injectors cleaned. It's got a throttle body injection. Let's see what kind of, it's still showing brake light. I don't know why, unless it's got a little bit of air in the lines. But it has no brakes. I can slam them. Nothing. I think only the back ones are grabbing. I don't think neither one of the front calipers are even moving. This thing's messy like a rodeo. I believe the front calipers are grabbing, because I can hold the brake and spin the tires. They're not grabbing very well. They stick too. When I let off of it, it's still holding. Yeah, I don't even have the brakes on, and it won't go backwards. We've definitely got some stuck calipers. Ain't that fancy. It's really running rich. I suspect that one of those injectors is just pouring gas down the intake. Look at this. She's done for. Well, I gotta see if I can come up with some calipers. When I finally got those calipers to release, they stuck. So I may be putting them on it right here. Let's see what I can find. Well, that escalated way too quick. These calipers are just dust. They've been on this thing. It's been sitting since 2013 or 2007, something like that. These were new calipers when it was parked. And reasonably new pads. They're shot. I had to do it right here in the driveway because I can't move it. But the rotors are decent. The bearings are good. I'm just going to slap some cheap old pads on there and put some good calipers on it, and then change rotors and pads and all later. I just want to get the thing where I can move it around. What a hole. It was completely locked up in the front. I dug a big hole. We'll be back with some parts and we'll go from there. Here we are back with our calipers and pads. They did not have the version that I had. I had the what they call a standard duty, and these are heavy duty. The only difference we could find was the size of the piston. The brake pads were about the same size, just a little bit wider. So I'm going to try to slap these on here. These aren't labeled. I was saying a minute ago these aren't labeled, but anytime you put these on, as long as you put that bleeder screw on the top, you've got them on the right way. If you've got the wrong side you're trying to put it on, the bleeder will be on the bottom, and you'll know that you got one for the other side. Just always make sure if you got two and you don't know what the number is on them, just put the bleeder on top and you'll be fine. Okay, we got this one on. We're going ahead and put the new brake line on this one. That was the last line I needed to install. The drums, the rotors ain't too bad, but the heavy duty seems to fit. I don't know what the difference is in the heavy duty and the standard duty, but the brake pads and everything fits. I don't know what the difference is other than the cup. The cup is a lot larger. Okay, everything is on. Now we're going to find a wrench to fit it. Should be a 3/8, but you never know what you're going to get when you buy Chinesium. It's not 7/16, it's not 3/8. So I'm going to guess that it's probably a 10 millimeter. 10 millimeter it is. We got those slide pins out with the help of our Mac brake set. It's got the star bits, or Torx I guess you could call it. That's a T40, T45, and then we got the regular hex bits, Allen I guess you could call them. T40, T45, and then a quarter, 5/16, 3/8, and 8 millimeter. And that's how we got them out. We used the 5/16 to get the pins out. Just thought I'd throw that out there. There's other brands. Mac is pretty much what we have. So open this bleeder up. I'm trying to let it gravity a little bit. Oh boy, it's in there. I think what I'll do is I'll go get our bleeder bottle and try to pump the air out of it. Getting any fluid through here? Doesn't look like it. I've got it loose enough, I think. Go a little more. Some that down. I'm gonna fiddle around with this a little bit, and then we'll come back. All right, I got the president and CEO in there. Go ahead and pump it up. All right, hold it. Whoops. I better move the camera. All right, pump it up. Hold it.
I assume you want it all the way to the floor.
Yep. All right, pump it up. Hold it. Pump it up. Hold it. It's got a lot of air. Pump it up. Now we've got them bled. I want to stuff the wheels back on it and pick up my tools. It's getting dark. We're going to call this thing done. Got a new set of brakes, hoses, calipers. All the lines have been redone to the back. The only thing I haven't done is put wheel cylinders in it. And if all goes well, we'll do that next weekend. But right now we've got some decent brakes, so I should be able to drive it. I gotta go put some gas in it. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. And like, share, and subscribe. We need your subscribership. I need you to subscribe to us. And it don't cost you a thing. Thanks everybody for watching. Stay clean, everybody.